Welcome to the Journey to Serenity channel. Embark on a path of tranquility and discovery with us. Join us as we explore the beauty of life, seek inner peace, and unravel the mysteries of the world around us. Together, let's embark on this journey to find serenity. Time, in many cultures and faiths, is not merely linear. It's a tapestry woven with threads of sacredness and celebration. Certain periods are marked as holy, offering a pause from the mundane. These sacred times are often lunar-based, mirroring the cycles of nature. In Islam, 4 months, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharam, and Rajab are deeply sacred. These months were times of peace, reflection, and spiritual renewal. Warfare was forbidden and tribal conflicts were set aside. This respect for time was a testament to reverence for the divine will. However, the Quran reveals a concerning practice, the manipulation of these sacred months. Known as nessi, it involved shifting months to justify acts of violence. This act, condemned in the Quran, reminds us how actions can stray from righteousness. The Quran, revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a guidance for humanity, directly addresses the issue of postponing sacred months in verse 9:37. This verse states, indeed, the postponing of restriction within sacred months is an increase in disbelief. They make it lawful 1 year and unlawful another year to correspond to the number made unlawful by Allah. Made pleasing to them is the evil of their deeds, and Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. This verse unveils a deliberate distortion of the sacred calendar. The act of postponing the sanctity of these months to engage in warfare or other prohibited acts was a clear violation of the divine order. It represented a blatant disregard for the sanctity of time and the covenants established by God. This manipulation was not merely a matter of shifting dates, it reflected a deeper transgression. The verse highlights the gravity of this act by linking it to disbelief or kufr in Arabic. This term signifies a rejection of truth, a deliberate turning away from the divine guidance offered by God. By manipulating the sacred months, those who engaged in nessi were essentially denying the divine decree. This act of defiance represented a profound spiritual crisis, a state of being lost and disconnected from the source of truth and guidance. The term linwasiyu al-nessi in Arabic refers to the act of postponing or intercalating time, specifically the sacred months. This practice, while seemingly a matter of calendar adjustment, held profound religious and societal implications. In essence, nessi represented a deliberate attempt to circumvent the divine laws governing warfare and peace, highlighting the human capacity for manipulation and self-serving interpretations of faith. Before Islam, the practice of nessi was prevalent among some Arab tribes. They would shift the sacred months to justify engaging in tribal warfare or raiding caravans during times that were meant for peace. This manipulation allowed them to exploit the system for their gain, disregarding the spiritual essence of the sacred months. This practice undermined the very purpose of these holy periods, which was to foster unity, reflection, and a return to the divine. The Quran's condemnation of nessi is unequivocal. It is deemed an act of increase in disbelief, signifying a deepening state of spiritual alienation. By manipulating the sacred calendar, individuals were essentially rejecting God's authority and replacing it with their own desires. This act represented a slippery slope, a gradual erosion of faith, and a descent into a cycle of transgression. The consequences of nessi extended beyond the spiritual realm. By disrupting the sanctity of time, it sowed discord and mistrust among tribes. The sacred months were meant to be periods of truce, allowing for trade, pilgrimage, and peaceful interactions. However, manipulating these periods for personal gain created an environment of uncertainty and fear, undermining the very fabric of society. Delving deeper, the essence of disbelief. Disbelief, or kufr in Arabic, is a multifaceted concept in Islam, encompassing more than just a lack of belief in God. It delves into the realm of conscious rejection, a deliberate turning away from the truth despite being aware of it. In the context of postponing sacred months, disbelief manifests as a blatant disregard for divine laws and a prioritization of worldly desires over spiritual principles. The act of nessi exemplifies this concept of disbelief. Those who engaged in it were fully aware of the sanctity of the 4 months. They understood the divine prohibition against warfare and injustice during these periods. Yet, driven by greed, power, or tribal rivalry, they chose to disregard God's commandments, manipulating the sacred calendar to suit their agendas. This deliberate transgression stemmed from a heart that had become distant from God. It reflected a spiritual state where worldly gains and desires had eclipsed the reverence and awe due to the Creator. Their actions were a testament to their misplaced priorities, demonstrating a lack of true faith and submission to the divine will. This concept of disbelief as active rejection holds profound implications for individuals and societies alike. It serves as a reminder that true faith is not merely a matter of outward rituals or pronouncements. It requires a sincere commitment to aligning one's actions with divine principles, even when faced with challenges or temptations. Disbelief, in essence, is a form of self-deception, a path that leads to spiritual and moral bankruptcy. The slippery slope of increase, a cycle of transgression. The Quran, in verse 9:37, uses the term increase to describe the gravity of postponing sacred months. This term emphasizes that such actions are not isolated incidents but rather indicative of a downward spiral, a progressive descent into disobedience and transgression. The act of nessi was not a sudden rupture but a gradual erosion of faith, a step-by-step process of prioritizing worldly desires over divine commands. This increase manifests in various ways. It begins with a subtle shift in priorities, a willingness to bend the rules for personal gain. As individuals or societies become comfortable with minor transgressions, they become desensitized to the gravity of their actions. This leads to a slippery slope where larger violations become more acceptable, and the lines between right and wrong become increasingly blurred. Moreover, the repetition of sin, as indicated by the phrase "they make it lawful 1 year and unlawful another year," further amplifies the increase in disbelief. Each transgression chips away at the foundation of faith, making it easier to justify subsequent violations. This cyclical pattern creates a self-perpetuating cycle of disobedience, leading individuals and societies further away from the path of righteousness. The concept of increase serves as a stark warning against the deceptive nature of sin. It highlights the importance of vigilance, of constantly checking our intentions and actions to ensure they are aligned with our values and beliefs. Recognizing and addressing even seemingly minor transgressions is crucial to prevent a descent into a cycle of disobedience and spiritual alienation. Echoes in our time, timeless wisdom for a modern world. While the specific act of postponing sacred months might seem like a relic of the past, the underlying message of Quran 9:37 resonates deeply in our modern world. The verse serves as a timeless reminder of the dangers of manipulating principles for personal gain, and the importance of aligning our actions with our values. In an age often characterized by moral relativism and the erosion of ethical boundaries, the concept of increase is particularly relevant. We witness a proliferation of justifications for actions that contradict fundamental principles of justice, compassion, and integrity. From corporate greed to political corruption, the pursuit of power and profit often overshadows ethical considerations, leading to a gradual erosion of societal values. The manipulation of information, the distortion of truth for political agendas, and the exploitation of vulnerable communities for economic gain are all manifestations of the same underlying principles condemned in Quran 9:37. These actions reflect a disregard for the sanctity of truth, a willingness to bend or break the rules for personal or ideological advantage. The Quran's message transcends specific historical contexts, offering guidance for navigating the complexities of our modern world. It reminds us that true progress and fulfillment cannot be achieved through shortcuts or by compromising our values. It calls us to uphold principles of justice, integrity, and compassion, even when faced with challenges or temptations. A call to reflection, navigating the calendars of our lives. The Quran's condemnation of postponing sacred months invites us to reflect on the calendars of our own lives. Just as the manipulation of time reflected a deeper spiritual crisis in the past, our modern-day attempts to manipulate time, truth, or principles reveal much about our own values and priorities. We might ask ourselves, are there areas in our own lives where we bend the rules or compromise our values for convenience or personal gain? Do we prioritize immediate gratification over long-term principles? Are we willing to speak out against injustice even when it requires sacrifice or challenges the status quo? The answers to these questions can be uncomfortable, but they are essential for personal growth and societal progress. Recognizing our own capacity for self-deception and the seductive nature of increase is the first step towards aligning our actions with our values. The Quran's message is not one of condemnation, but of guidance and hope. It reminds us that we have the capacity to choose righteousness over transgression, to prioritize principles over expediency. By heeding the lessons of the past, we can navigate the complexities of our present and contribute to a more just and compassionate future. As we conclude this exploration of Quran 9:37, let us reflect on this question. How can we ensure that our actions, both individually and collectively, reflect a commitment to truth, justice, and the sanctity of principles, not just in words, but in the everyday calendars of our lives? In the upcoming episode, God willing, we will inform you about the relationship between the issue of lenwasiyu, means postponement, and the natural changes that we witness today, and what is referred to as global warming, and the decrease in animal famines and conflicts. All of this is due to not following the laws of God in the seasons and times that the Creator has wisely designated and called them the sacred months. Before I leave you, farewell, we will inform you of another secret from many secrets of Surah Al-Tawbah, secret number 1, verse 937. And why does Surah Al-Tawbah not begin with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, means in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful? Thank you for joining us on this problem-solving journey. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insightful content. Sharing is caring, so feel free to share this video with your friends, family, or anyone who might benefit from it. Remember, every problem has a solution, and together, we can find it. See you in our next video.